One of the things that came up with a class we taught at the University of Mary Washington in Virginia, and the class is still going on in various variations, but in about 2010, 2011 it started. It was called DS-106, or Digital Storytelling 106. And the idea was that quality was not determined by the professor. In other words, like, I had started teaching that class with, here's the 10 assignments that I'm going to judge you on. And in fact, it became a kind of routinized experience of me doling out what needs to be done. And sometimes, students did amazing work with it, sometimes not. But the idea was to rethink that. So what happens if you build a space for a class, which was partially online, partially in class, and you allow students to submit assignments across various categories? Media creation, meaning video, audio, design, visual, and then we did like fan fiction and some other stuff. So 7 categories, and asked students from the class, which were both taking it for credit and others weren't, and this is right before MOOCs exploded, and you asked them to contribute assignments. What happened was 500 people signed up for the class, although only 50 were registered. And we had, by the end of the semester, 400 different assignments across those 8 categories that people had submitted. And the question came up of what's the quality of those assignments? Well, A, because of the way it was framed, students had a choice. And if they didn't like the assignment that was there, they could go out and get one that was better. And more than the assignment, which they had to do, the point was not, was the assignment good or not? The response to the assignment had to document their thinking. Had to actually put them in, you did this GIF, you made a GIF. I don't care about the GIF per se. What I care is your thinking about why this GIF, how you created it, and what was your thinking. And by the end of the semester, every student had their own space where they documented their thinking through all these different assignments, some of which they created, to actually come up not with a routinized, here's your objectives, here's what you need to do, but with a kind of a purview of their thinking about how they approached a whole series of media creation and storytelling online. And for me, the quality was interesting because there was never a question in that class of someone cheating. Like, you couldn't, because you were either building the assignment or narrating how you were thinking about it. Like, it was an expression of you. I think quality control happens when you know that the work you have and the content you're using is just routinized content that could be reused and reframed by students and maybe plagiarized, or maybe they're stealing it. But it's like, it's a system that has to control itself because it's built on mediocrity. Whereas if you build a system where you're asking students to kind of come in and invite them to create and build the idea of the course with you, quality is like inherent. So quality, as always, is a reflection of the actual experience. And how often do we document that experience in a textbook or in a kind of a 300-person class that's anonymous? There's no experience there, or there is. It happens between students that we'll never see as academics, and that's great, and it should. But there's no reason why in this day and age we can't capture the richness of a creative journey of a student by actually letting go of some of our notions of quality and curriculum and control. And so for me, the DS-106 experience was a bit about letting go and opening up. Let the quality not dictate the content. Let the content creation and the idea of what's possible dictate the quality. And I believe, and I may be wrong, I believe that when you give people a certain amount of freedom to explore and build and define the stuff they're interested in, depending on the topic, you often get something better than what you dreamed of. And not every course can do this, but every discipline can do a variety or a variation of this, for sure. And I hear from a lot of people like, that's fine for you, but I could never do it. And I don't believe in that. I do think that every discipline, every subject matter can be explored creatively. And the willingness to do that, or the ability to do that, is up to the prof, or the faculty, or the department, or the school.